I want to ask you about a misstep in your career, David. And you were famously behind the development of Crystal Pepsi. You talked about the lessons you've learned there. But I'm wondering, how did you personally bounce back in the years that followed? And what lessons can people draw from your experience?
Well, I think every leader has what I call an epic fail. Something where it just you like to play over again and again. And I believe me, I've relived those Crystal Pepsi days. But when I went to Pepsi, Pepsi was in need of turnaround. The business was not doing well, so I developed the idea of a clear cola. The only issue that I had, the consumer loved the idea, it didn't taste enough like Pepsi. And, my big learning was I had franchise bottlers tell me, David, it needs to taste more like Pepsi. You're calling it Pepsi. And, I didn't listen to them because I thought it was such a big idea. If I would have listened to them, given it a little bit more Pepsi flavor notes, I'm convinced that Crystal Pepsi would still be around today. But I was able to survive it because, number one, the business, did take off when we launched Crystal Pepsi. I mean, everybody tried Crystal Pepsi. It was like a gigantic in-and-out product, but people didn't come back and buy it again. So it didn't have the sustainability that I was hoping for. And when I look at this, I always say, geez, what if I would have just made sure it was a better product, tasting a little bit more like Pepsi? I think it'd still be around today. And by the way, Andy, they brought it back, I think, a couple of years ago as a limited time only offering at Pepsi. So, I think it's, it had a niche. We just didn't make it as big as it could have been.
Or was it maybe a little bit ahead of its time because, now it would have being perceived as cleaner or healthier, and that the clear, like the way vodka took off at the expense of bourbon, right?
I think it was a little bit ahead of its time, but frankly, that was the reason why I developed it, because back then, the water business was booming. Clearly, Canadian was one of the hotter products. And so everything that was clear was growing. And so that was it, because it was perceived to be better for you. And that was why I said, well, look, if all these clear products are doing well, why don't we just make a clear Pepsi? And, it was a breakthrough idea, poorly executed.